Imagine if you could hotkey any monitor setting specifically for Tarkov so you can actually see through Tarkov's bad lighting. And the best part, it would work for both Nvidia and AMD. Well, I've found a way to do this, so today I'm going to show you how. Now, this software is quite old. It's a version of RivaTuner from 2009, and it's a bit weird to install and set up, so stick with me here, otherwise you might miss something important and start having problems. Jumping straight into this now, in my Discord at the very top you will find a category called Gamma Hotkey, and in there there's a download channel. Have a read through this carefully, and if you're happy to continue, click the link, download the file, open it up, and you'll find a folder with these 2 files in. That is all you need. I've also opened a support channel in Discord. If you do come across any problems, you can reach me here. Anyway, let's get into this. If you do have MSI Afterburner or a newer version of RivaTuner installed, close both of these first, then run the setup file, which is the orange exe. Don't worry, because this won't overwrite your current installation of RivaTuner, it just needs to be closed to install. Okay, back to the installation now. Run the setup, select your language, click next, accept the terms, destination folder you can put wherever you want, and click install. Make sure you install the available updates of RivaTuner, otherwise this program will not work properly, so click yes. Now we can uncheck protect memory mapped IO ports because this is to do with an old Punkbuster anti-cheat system and Tarkov doesn't use that, so we don't need it. And we don't want it to take up additional resources, so untick and just click next. And now we can just click finish. This part will take a while because it needs to build the database, so just let it sit and I'll come back to you when it's done. Alright, so it's been installed successfully, click OK, and this is what the software looks like. Straight away here, I'm going to go into settings and do send to tray on close so that it doesn't disappear. And you can also have it set to run on startup, which I do. And then we go up to the main tab at the top again. This drop down here is where you want to select your main monitor. And notice it shows up for both AMD and Nvidia here. It should be, your main display should always be the one at the top and you shouldn't need to select anything different. At least that's how it's been for me and other people I've tested with on AMD cards. And then click customize here. Then we're going to click into the low-level desktop color schemes, and this is the panel where we can start adjusting our gamma. So straight away here, what we're going to do is just save a default one and call it default. That means we're always going to have something to go back to. Right, now we can start playing around. So you see we increase the gamma here and it turns it really far up. You can really fry this thing if you want to. You can go above and beyond. But let's just say I want to do one for maybe 1.5 and then we'll increase the contrast a little bit as well. And then we save this one and we call it gamma 1. Cool, so now that's saved. Now we can switch from default to gamma 1 to see the difference. And let's just say we're going to do another one, a bit higher gamma. We'll say 2.2 and then we'll increase the contrast once more to maybe 14. And we'll call it gamma 2. Now, it's probably best to do this in-game so you can see the effects of these things, and we will do that here in a second. For now, let's just do apply and OK. Then we're going to go into the launcher tab, click the plus icon, regular item, and OK. Now, this will take a moment. The application hasn't froze. As said before, it is really old. It just takes a moment to load this next window. So don't panic, just wait, and it will pop up. There we go. So we're going to call this first one default. Associated hotkey, you can just click on the box and then press whatever hotkey you want. I'm just going to do insert because it's top right on my keyboard. Select associated color schemes, and as you can see from this drop down, these are the ones we made earlier: default, gamma 1, and gamma 2. So this is the default one, so we're going to leave it on default. Click OK, and then we're going to add another one, regular item. Wait for this to load once again. Okay, cool. And now we're going to call this one gamma 1, and I'm going to do page up, associated color scheme, and gamma 1. You get the picture now. And then we're going to add another item. Wait for this to load once again. Okay, here we go. And finally, gamma 2. You can have as many of these as you want, but I'm just going to stick with 3 for now. Associated color scheme and gamma 2. Okay, apply. Now, if we click OK, that will then minimize to our tray. You can see it's still open here. As long as it's open, these profiles will work. And now if I hit my hotkeys, you can see this is gamma 1, this is gamma 2, and I can go back to default. Alright, so I'm going to take myself into a scav run on nighttime streets just to show you how we can customize this a bit more and update any of the profiles if they're not quite right. Okay, so here we are in nighttime streets. My visibility is actually pretty decent already because I have Nvidia settings and post FX already applied. So my gamma is about 1.8 by default. All I'm really doing now is stacking on top of that. I could make it more extreme if I wanted to, but yeah, this is what I would normally play on. Something like this, and you know, it's good enough. It's good enough. But let's hit one of our hotkeys now. So this is gamma 1, and you can see already that is a tremendous increase in visibility. And we'll turn that off again and then back on. Yeah, and then we can increase it even more with gamma 2. And yeah, the game is absolutely fried right now. But for those of you like myself, I imagine, who particularly struggle trying to focus on very dark scenes and strain your eyes quite a lot because of just how bad like the lighting is by default. I mean, if there was somebody at the end of the bushes here, you would have no chance spotting them. And you know, that's why I like to have profiles like this. So it just makes it easier on my eyes, you know. But yeah, I definitely don't want to ruin my vision just because of the way the devs have built the game. If BSG wanted to do a better job with the night raids, then I suggest they do something like how Rust does it, where it's more of like a fog of war type thing, where you physically cannot see. No matter how much you boost your gamma, nighttime is pitch black. So it's either that or it's something in between where everything's really washed out and hard to see. But yeah, a lot of players, and especially the ones with Nvidia graphics cards, will already be utilizing things like increasing gamma and contrast so they can see better in their raids. So if they're doing it, then I think people on AMD should also have the choice to do something like this. You know, it levels the playing field for everybody and ultimately pushes BSG to make their game a little bit better. Anyway, enough of the yapping, and let me show you how you can customize this a little bit more. So I'm going to reset this to default now, and we'll open up RivaTuner. So again, we're going to go to customize now. Now, the good thing is we already have all of our hotkeys set. If you want to update, say gamma 1, for example, maybe we want to make the gamma a little bit higher, we can do that. And then all we need to do is click save and then do it as gamma 1. Apply, and then that means gamma 1 profile is now updated to whatever you just saved the settings to. Now, there are actually other things you can customize in here. You can go a bit deeper into the separate RGB channels, or you can customize a graph by a curve here. You can also touch brightness, which I tend to not do. I find that gamma and contrast is the best for improving visibility, so I recommend just, you know, only playing around with these ones. But yeah, that's pretty much the extent of this software, guys. And yeah, it should help you out really, you know, be able to see in your nighttime raids, and especially if you're somebody with an AMD graphics card that's been struggling for a while, this should be perfect for you guys. If you want to get the most out of these settings, you'll also probably want to pair this program with the current meta post effect settings, which I'll leave a link for down below. Now, don't just copy and paste my settings here because it works differently from monitor to monitor. Watch the video and you'll be able to find the perfect settings for you. Alright, if this video has helped you out, let me know down in the comments. It should really be a game changer for those of you with AMD cards, since there aren't any options by default to change your gamma. And it's a comment I've been getting on my post FX videos now for a long time. Anyway guys, thank you again, hope this helps. Come check me out live on Twitch, and I'll catch you in the next one.